Isn't it fitting? Isn't it fitting that on Columbus Day, when we celebrate the man who discovered the new world, President Donald Trump has discovered a new world in the Middle East? At least that's what he said today in Israel. That's what was said about him today in Israel. And you know what? Let's be honest with you. That's exactly what it is. It's a brand new day, a brand new age in the Middle East as President Donald Trump signs this peace agreement that is now, I mean, this is really transformative. And you've got dozens of countries. You've got dozens of people from all over the world, dozens of leaders from every single European nation and all of the nations around the, that are involved in this peace agreement with Israel. All of these folks are gathered in Egypt to sign this historic agreement. And President Donald Trump has already signed it. He's about to speak. And that's why I'm a little early today. I jumped in early because I did not want to miss President Donald Trump speaking live. I already saw him this morning. We already woke up early this morning, and President Donald Trump was giving an incredible speech. Really, not only did he give an incredible speech, but he was on the receiving end of some incredible comments by Benjamin Netanyahu in Israel, by the Speaker of the House of Israel. It was really, it was truly an incredible experience, and so far it's been a truly incredible day for the president, and it continues. It never stops for President Donald Trump. So like I said, in just a minute, in fact, let's pull it up here so we don't miss it. In just a minute, the president is going to take the stage and he's going to speak about peace in the Middle East with all of these world leaders as they sign this historic covenant for a new world. A new world on Columbus Day. I wonder if there's ever going to be like a Trump Day. I mean, other than Wednesday. For years, we've called Wednesday Trump Day. Oh, hold on. What is this? That's weird. Hold on. Let me get my messages. Here he goes. Here goes President Donald Trump. Let's go live.
Well, thank you very much. And that was a great honor. I appreciate it very much, Mr. President, Mr. General, Mr. President, great General, great President. Thank you very much. This is the day that people across the region and around the world have been working, striving, hoping, and praying for. They have done things over the last month that I think were really unthinkable. Nobody thought this could happen. With the historic agreement we've just signed, those prayers of millions have finally been answered. As you know, the hostages have been returned. And further work goes on having to do with the, sadly to say, bodies. Together we've achieved what everybody said was impossible. At long last, we have peace in the Middle East. And it's a very simple expression, peace in the Middle East. And we've heard it for many years, but nobody thought it could ever get there. And now we're there. And I want to congratulate everybody sitting in these first few rows and standing behind me. I don't know why they chose to stand, but I promise I'll make it short, okay? We are not going to keep you standing for long. These are great leaders. After years of suffering and bloodshed, the war in Gaza is over. Humanitarian aid is now pouring in, including hundreds of truckloads of food, medical equipment, and other supplies, much of it paid for by people in this room. Civilians are returning to their homes. The hostages are reuniting. I mean, it's beautiful. I'm just watching it backstage. The level of love and sorrow, I've never seen anything like it. It's amazing when you see they haven't seen their mother, their father. They haven't seen them in such a long time, and they lived in a tunnel, a very little tunnel, very deep. And the level of love is just incredible. It's a beautiful thing to see. In one sense, it's so horrible that it could have taken place, but in another sense, it's so beautiful to see a new and beautiful day is rising, and now the rebuilding begins. The rebuilding is maybe going to be the easiest part. I think we've done a lot of the hardest part because the rest comes together. We all know how to rebuild, and we know how to build better than anybody in the world. I want to express my tremendous gratitude to the Arab and Muslim nations who helped make this incredible breakthrough possible, and you really did. To President El-Sisi of Egypt, who is so generously hosting us today. And I want to thank you for the outstanding job your country is doing in so many different ways and for helping us so much with this peace agreement. I also want to thank the president for the escort of 6 fighter jets. Oh, we looked out the window, we said, I hope they're friendly, and they turned out to be very friendly. but we had 3 on each side, and they are beauties right out of the great, really American manufacturing hub. We make the greatest military equipment in the world. We have the strongest military in the world by far. And I knew exactly what those planes were, and I knew exactly how much you paid for those planes, too. You paid a lot, but you got a pretty good deal. And they are great planes, and we just appreciate it. That was quite an escort in. That was very impressive. But Air Force One was really, it was covered with Egyptian desert just a few months ago. If you think about it, just a few months ago it was Egyptian desert, and now it was just a few feet off our window. And it was a spectacular sight, and I appreciate it very much. Really, that was pretty good. You got our people by surprise. I don't know if they were thrilled right at the beginning, but they were thrilled as we sailed along very, very calmly and safely. And I'm deeply honored to receive from you, Egypt's highest state honor, the Order of the Nile. The Nile is so beautiful, so magnificent. It's such a beautiful title, the Order of the Nile. Thank you very much, Mr. President. Appreciate it. Great honor. I also want to give a very special thanks to the Emir of Qatar, a man who's outstanding. He's been a friend of mine for a long time, long before politics, and he's a fantastically respected man. His Highness Sheikh Tamim is respected by everybody. He's respected by everybody, and in the most positive way, not only because of power, because of his heart. He's got a tremendous heart, and he's a great leader, and his country loves him. Thank you very much for being here. It's an honor. Let me also express our condolences to the Qataris on the tragic car crash that claimed the lives of your cherished diplomats, some of whom were known by our people, and they were supposed to be incredible people. So please extend our sorrow and best wishes. That was tough. That was really tough. On this extraordinary occasion, I also want to give our sincere thanks to President Erdogan of Turkey. He's always there when I need him. He's such a tough guy. He is tough as you can be, but we love him. And when they have a problem with you, they always call me to handle it. And usually I come through. We just have a good relationship, and we have from the beginning. And so I want to thank you very much and say hello to your wife, your beautiful wife. And it's great to be with you. Always there. When I need him, he's always there. Thank you very much, Mr. President. And I also want to thank, I just spoke to him on the phone, His Royal Highness Crown Prince Mohammed, Saudi Arabia, special friend of mine. Boy, he's come so long and so far, and he's doing a fantastic job for his country. And I want to just thank him. And, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed of the United Arab Emirates is here. Where? He's here someplace. Well, oh, he's not here. But he's here in spirit, I can tell you that. And he's been another one. He's been absolutely incredible, and we appreciate it very much. And His Majesty King Abdullah of Jordan. And thank you very much, King Abdul of Jordan. He's here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. And you really have been a great helper. We appreciate it. Appreciate it. Prime Minister Sharif of Pakistan. And also, I have to say, my favorite field marshal from Pakistan, who's not here, but the Prime Minister is here, and you're going to give his regards. Where are you? There you go. Thank you very much. Do you want to say what you said to me the other day? Come, would you like to say what you said the other day? I think it was so nice. Please.
Thank you very much, my dear President Trump, my dear brother, President Fath el-Sisi of Egypt, Majesties, Highnesses, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum, and a very good evening. Well, I would say today is one of the greatest days in contemporary history, because peace has been achieved after untiring efforts. efforts led by President Trump, who is genuinely a man of peace, who has relentlessly and untiringly worked throughout these months, day in and day out, to make this world a place to live with peace and prosperity. I would say that Pakistan had nominated President Donald Trump for Nobel Peace Prize for his outstanding, extraordinary contributions to first stop war between India and Pakistan and then achieve ceasefire along with his very wonderful team. And today, again, I would like to nominate this great president for Nobel Peace Prize because I genuinely feel that he is the most genuine and most wonderful candidate for Peace Prize because he has brought not only peace in South Asia, saved millions of people, their lives. And today, here in Sharm el-Sheikh, achieving peace in Gaza is saving millions of lives in the Middle East. Mr. President, I would like to salute you for your exemplary leadership, visionary leadership. And I think that you are the man this world needed most at this point in time. World would always remember you as a man who did everything, went out of the way to stop 7 and today 8 wars. I would like to thank my very dear brother, Sheikh Tamim. He's Akh al-Shaqiq, who has really worked very hard along with others to achieve peace in this region. My very dear brother, President Tayyip Erdogan, His Majesty, King Abdullah, and of course my very dear brother, Mohammed bin Zayed of UAE, and of course my very dear brother, Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. And he has also been very, very helpful and contributed very valuably in this wonderful peace process.
At first, I was wondering why President Donald Trump was allowing the Prime Minister or the President of Pakistan to speak, but then he goes, "Oh, Donald Trump's amazing and deserves the Nobel Peace Prize." So that makes perfect sense. Anyway, while we're waiting for the President of Pakistan to wrap up and President Donald Trump to take back his spot at the microphone, which again, look, President Donald Trump's had a long day. He flew to Israel. He met with the hostages and their families as they were being released. He then went and spoke at the Knesset, which, by the way, that was a lengthy process because there were a lot of speakers before him, and they all spoke very. You think Donald Trump's verbose? You didn't wait till you hear Benjamin Netanyahu and the Speaker of the House of the Knesset. They're also very, let's just say they talk a lot. So Donald Trump, then he had to get on a plane. He had to fly an hour to Egypt. And he had to shake more hands. He had to come in. They had a whole thing where he's signing papers, this, that, and the other. I'm sure there's a little bit of jet lag. So he probably was like, you know what? I'm going to take a little break over it. You talk for a minute. Tell everybody how great I am and how I deserve the Peace Prize. And then I'll come back to the podium, which he's doing now. So let's listen in.
I didn't expect that. Let's go home. There's nothing more I have to say. Goodbye, everybody. That was really beautiful and beautifully delivered. Wow. Thank you very much.
Also, I'm pretty sure I expected it.
Also with us is President Prabowo, a very incredible man of Indonesia. President, come in. Great job. President Abbas of the Palestinian Authority. See, we have them all. We have them all. Good, great. It's good to have you. And so many others. I have a list here. this first three rows and what's standing behind me, I don't know why they chose to stand, but that's there. They're going to be very famous tomorrow, all of them. We have the Arab League is represented by His Excellency, and thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much. We have Armenia.
Okay, so now President, and this is important because this is something that, you know, President Donald Trump is not used to doing, but this is now, this shows you the protocol internationally for all of the people that are coming in to sign this agreement. And there's dozens and dozens of them, and they all need their recognition. And yeah, I don't know why they're standing behind him, but you see Keir Starmer there, you see Georgia Maloney, you see a couple of others, and I guess you see the Canadian Mark Carney. He's right there. I don't know why they all decided to stand behind him, but they're going to have to stand for a while because President Donald Trump's going to have to go through this entire protocol because this is a once-in-a-lifetime peace agreement. Again, this is something that we have not seen ever. It's something we've never seen.
If it's worthwhile, he knew exactly what it was. He knew the importance. Where's Canada, by the way? Where are you?
He's right behind you, other side.
He knew the importance of this. He said, I want to be there. So many people have done that. They called. I mean, they heard about it. And these are not people that can do that very easily. They have pretty big schedules to put it in mind. The most powerful people. And I appreciate you being here very much, Mr. President. Fantastic.
Prime Minister.
Fantastic.
That's right.
And Cyprus, Egypt, the European Union, it's a lot of countries. France, thank you very much, Emmanuel. I would imagine Emmanuel standing someplace behind me. Where is he? I can't believe it. You're taking a low-key approach today. He's my friend. That's great. Good job. Thank you very much, Emmanuel. Germany, the new Chancellor of Germany he's easy to spot because he's very tall. And he's very smart, and he's doing a fantastic job for his country. Appreciate it very much. And congratulations, a big election. That was a big one. That was going to change things. Greece, we have Greece. We have Hungary. Oh, Victor, where is Victor? Victor. We love Victor. Victor, I call him. You know, I put the little accent on it. You are fantastic, all right? I know a lot of people don't agree with me, but I'm the only one that matters. You are fantastic. He's a great leader. I endorsed him the last election he had, and he won by 28 points. So you're going to do even better this time. You have another election, and you're going to do great, and we appreciate it, and we're behind you 100%. That's Hungary. India is a great country with a very good friend of mine at the top, and he's just done a fantastic job, and I think that Pakistan and India are going to live very nicely together.
India's a great friend of mine who's now cuddling up with Putin and Xi Jinping, but yeah, whatever. That's fine.
They are. And they're two great, I tell you, leaders, great leaders as far as I'm concerned. Indonesia, we covered, and I just want to say that that's a big country, a powerful country. It does unbelievably well, and it's great to have you. Iraq, we have Iraq with lots of oil. They have so much oil, they don't know what to do with it. That's a big problem when you have so much, you have no idea what to do with it. So thank you very much. Thank you very much.
And we have more oil than Iraq here in the United States, if only we could get to it.
A young woman who's, I'm not allowed to say it because usually it's the end of your political career if you say it. She's a beautiful young woman. Now, if you use the word beautiful in the United States about a woman, that's the end of your political career, but I'll take my chances. Where is she? There she is. You don't mind being called beautiful, right? Because you are. Thank you very much for coming. We appreciate it.
It's Georgia
She
Maloney.
wanted to be here, and she's incredible, and they really respect her.
From Italy. She's got a
Italy.
crush on Elon Musk. I think she's
a
mad
very
at Donald Trump for
successful-
breaking up with Elon
very
Musk.
successful politician.
She was hoping to see Elon
We
again.
have Norway. Oh, Norway. Norway. What happened, Norway? What happened? Where's Norway? Where is he? We have Johnny. We're going to the World Cup. I can tell you that. Where's Norway? I don't think he wants to stand. Oh, he's back there. Well, we have Norway. Oman, again.
Oman.
We have Paraguay. We have really fantastic representative from Saudi Arabia. Thank you very much. I'll tell you what, And this time we'll get you the best seat. He always gets the best seat. He deserves the best seat. But what a great place it is. Spain. Where's Spain?
It's
Are
just
you guys
south of
working
France.
on him with respect to the GDP? We'll get close. We'll get close. But fantastic job you're doing. And UAE, which is great. United Kingdom. Where's United Kingdom?
Right behind you. Right behind you, sir. It's Keir Starmer.
It's very nice that you're here. These people all came in like 20.
Like Keir
20
Starmer
minute
thought he was going
notice.
to. Keir Starmer thought he was
I
going to
think
talk.
it's fantastic. And we have
Donald
so
Trump's
many
like, yeah,
others,
you're not
and
talking.
it's just so many others. And it's such a compliment
All right, here
to
we
what
go.
we're doing, because what we've done is something very unique and very special. So it's perhaps the wealthiest and most powerful group of nations ever assembled at one time,
That
which
is
is a
true.
big thing. We have achieved together in recent days a change that really is historic, and it's going to be remembered forever. And I want to thank the American team for their amazing work, and I want to thank, I think he'll go down as the greatest Secretary of State in the history of our country. I really believe that, Marco, or I wouldn't say it. Marco Rubio, I wouldn't
Marco.
say it. Maybe I would.
Marco Rubio. Marco
You're doing
Rubio.
a great job. I'll tell you,
It's my
he's
favorite
on,
game to play in the pool.
He's on course to do it. We've done a lot of work in 9 months. We've done a lot of work. I say that, 1 year ago, a little more, but 1 year ago, America, the United States of America was was a dead country. The king told me, and I use that, he said, sir, 1 year ago it was a dead country. Today you have the hottest country anywhere in the world, and it is. It's the hottest country. So many investors are here. We have over $17 trillion being invested in the United States, which is a record that nobody has ever beaten. I don't think anybody will. And we still have 4 months to go before it's a year. So in 8 months, we have over 17 trillion. We're actually very close to $18 trillion. There's never been, as an example, the previous administration had less than $1 trillion over 4 years. We have, we're close to breaking $18 trillion in 8 months. That's pretty amazing. No country's ever done that. I want to also thank Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and my
Stevie Dubs.
son-in-law and a great guy, Jared Kushner.
JK.
And I even have my daughter here, Ivanka. Ivanka, please stand up. Ivanka's here. Wow.
Ivanka says, he says Ivanka stand up, but Jared
Thank you.
and,
Thank you, Ivanka.
Steve
We
Witkoff
have a
just
great
says
team.
their
And we
names.
have, as you know, General Raisin Kane. We have John Radcliffe. We have Tom Barrack. We have really a lot of good talent. We have Pete Hegseth.
Yeah.
who's
Sec War.
now Department of War.
Department of War,
As
yeah.
opposed to Department of Defense. We made a little change. Somehow I like the name better. So do you. So do a lot of people.
So do you.
But the momentous breakthrough that we're here to celebrate tonight is more than the end of the war in Gaza. It's with God's help, it'll be the new beginning for an entire beautiful Middle East. From this moment forward, we can build a region that's strong and stable and prosperous and united in rejecting the path of terror once and for all. We want to get rid of the terror and get on to other things. There are many other things in life. They're
No
so
more
good.
terror.
The final sprint to this deal began less than 3 weeks ago on the sidelines of the United Nations in New York. I met with many of the people in this room, and it all just started coming together. I've known so many of you for so long. You're friends of mine. You're great people. I have a couple I don't like in particular, but I won't tell you who. I have actually a few of them I don't like at all, but you'll never find out who they are. Well, maybe you will, come to think of it. But I have most of you who I like a lot, and
love
I
it.
respect
I love
a
it.
lot. Maybe that's more important. We
Some of
listened
you I
and
hate, but
we
most of you I
exchanged
like.
ideas,
You guys
and we
figure it
kept
out.
pushing forward until the job was done. And the first
great.
steps to peace are always the hardest. And today we've taken them and we've put them all together, and we've come up with this beautiful mix like nobody thought was possible. And as you know, I've just come from Israel. It was an amazing day to watch the hostages come in and to watch all of the other things and do all of the other things that we did. And like all of us here this evening, the Israeli people are overjoyed that the war has ended. Many of you have had dancing in the streets. They had dancing in the streets. And they've been dancing for weeks now once they heard about this and they heard that it was even a possibility. They're elated at the arrival of the hostages and excited to begin this new chapter for the entire region, and it's going to be that, and they are going to be great partners, and I hope everybody's going to join the Abraham Accord. I like to say the Avraham. I love Avraham, but somehow it doesn't sound as good when I say it as it does when some of my other friends say it who's
Father
from
Abraham.
the region. But we're going to get a lot of people joining the Abraham Accords. We have the 4 great nations that did it early on, and they stayed with it. And then you had the Biden administration, which is the worst administration in the history of our country, and obviously they did nothing on that and anything else. And so it stayed at 4, and now a lot of people, even today, they're talking about all joining up. So many people have talked to me about that, and it's going to be a great tribute to really the United States. I mean, the United States has worked very hard in the Middle East, so it would be a tribute to us and to Jared and to Steve and to all of the people, Marco, all of the people that have worked so hard on that. And it really is going to it's going to guarantee that it all stays together. You're going to do well, because the 4 nations do very well. I mean, they do extremely, they're wealthy, but they're a lot wealthier because of it. So I hope everybody's now joining up. Now we have no excuses. We don't have a Gaza, and we don't have an Iran as an excuse. That was a good excuse, but we don't have that anymore. All the momentum now is toward a great, glorious, and lasting peace. And our commitment to fulfilling the 20-point plan we developed together will be the crucial foundation for achieving that bright future. And it's being worked on right now as we speak. And we're actually in stage 3 and 4. It's not going to be, just divided down so simply. We can be long advanced on some of the things that we say we're going to do. We can take them out of order in a positive way. And we've shown how it can be done with responsible nations like the people in this room, these incredible people in this room, setting aside their differences, seeking common ground, and pursuing a better world for all of us. In that spirit, it's my dream that we all get together and enjoy our life. And we're going to put some of you on the Board of Peace. Everybody wants to be on the Board of Peace. They said, would you be the chairman? I say, I'm pretty busy too.
The BOP.
But whatever we can do to have peace in the Middle East, it's worth it. But
it'll be Marco Rubio will be
on the Board of Peace, so we're probably going to enlarge it. We're going to get, and the leaders, the top people, the top leaders, they want to be on the Board of Peace. A beautiful term. At first I wasn't sure, and then I realized how beautiful it is. And for the people of Gaza, the focus now must be on restoring the basics of a good life. We're going to have a lot of money coming into Gaza and a lot of rebuilding and building. It's not so much rebuilding, it's really building, cleaning up and building. And I'm pleased to announce that numerous countries of great wealth and power and dignity have come forward to me and just today and over the last week to say they want to help in the reconstruction of Gaza, putting up whatever money is necessary. And the money is, of course, it's a lot of money, but it's not much compared to the value or the wealth of these tremendous countries. And they are ensuring stability and success in the Middle East. So when you think about it, it's a very, very small amount of money is necessary, relatively speaking. And as those commitments are made, I'm going to let the world know who is doing it, because they really deserve great credit for doing it. And they're going to do something that's really monumental. This is a monumental day. This is a monumental moment in the history of the world beyond the Middle East. We've all agreed that supporting Gaza must be done to lift up the people themselves, but we don't want to fund anything having to do with bloodshed, hatred, or terror, as has happened in the past. And for the same reason, we're also agreed that Gaza's reconstruction requires that it be demilitarized and that a new, honest civilian police force must be allowed to create a safe condition for the people in Gaza. As I said earlier, I intend to be a partner in securing a better future. We're going to be working, you're going to be working with the United States, and we're going to make sure that the Middle East is going to be a safe and secure place. It's a very important place in the world, means so much. There were so many people who said the Middle East, and this has been going for many, many decades. I've read it many times, that World War III will begin in the Middle East. It's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. There was a time that you would have thought it could have, but it's not going to happen. There won't be World War III, hopefully, at all. but it's not going to start in the Middle East. We're not going to have a World War III if we're smart. It'll never be a World War III. Our work begins right here and right now. From ancient times, this region has been extraordinarily mixed with respect to people, culture, religions, all of the different elements of national characters, unlike maybe anywhere else on earth. And for 3,000 years, there's been conflict. For whatever reason, there's been tremendous conflict, always conflict. But today, for the first time anyone can remember, we have a once-in-a-lifetime chance to put the old feuds and bitter hatreds behind us. And that's why so many people in this room, they didn't get along. Some did, some didn't, but they're getting along now. This has brought the people together. This is the first time the Middle East crisis has brought people together as opposed to driving them apart. And to declare that our future will not be ruled by the fights of the generations past, which is foolish. So together, let us continue in the spirit of cooperation and goodwill that has finally brought us to this incredible, historic breakthrough. If we do together, we will reach the Middle East's incredible destiny, a safe and prosperous and beautiful crossroads of culture and commerce, faith in humanity and geographic center. This will be the geographic center of the world. So I just want to thank everybody for being here. I want to thank you all for what you've done and for this quick notice. It all came together just at one little period. It just came together. It's, the greatest deals happen that way. If you do anything about deals, that's all I've done all my life is deals. The greatest deals just sort of happen. And that's what happened right here. And maybe this is going to be the greatest deal of them all, not just nation building, not just having to do with this or the political whims. This will be maybe the greatest deal of them all, period. And I want to thank all of you and all of these great nations and this region for what it's gone through and all of the fights it's had, or life over death and hope over strife and harmony over hatred. That's what we want. We want it to be that way because together we're going to forge a magnificent, great, and enduring peace. I want to just end by saying God bless you all. God bless the Middle East. God bless your countries. And God bless you. Thank you very much, everybody.
There you go.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. There you go, President Donald Trump speaking to the coalition of Arab and Middle Eastern and European and really world nations.
Thank you very much.
People from, as you can see.
So if we could ask the media to leave, and we're going to have a little conversation with all of these great leaders, which will take 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And we'll just talk for a couple of minutes. But if we could ask the media to leave, would be great.
Media, get out of here.
Thank you very much.
Media, that's Donald Trump's favorite part of the speech. Could you please get out, media? We're gonna have a little meeting here of world leaders, of important people, and we don't want you knowing what we're gonna say. But it's like, I mean, if you think about it, what Donald Trump has done here, you want to talk about a new world, you want to talk about Columbus Day, you want to talk about founding new worlds. You want to talk about establishing new coalitions and really what Donald Trump has done is he's created a new civilization in the Middle East that is civilized for the first time in centuries. You've got the images of the hostages being freed today, just incredible. When you see this is something that people didn't think would ever happen. A lot of these folks thought that they would never see their relatives alive again. And here you have father and son embracing, the mother praying, tears of joy. And all of this made possible by President Donald Trump. All of this made possible by this coalition that President Donald Trump put together. And this piece here, there you go. I think that's his wife or sister, one or the other. And they're hugging and they're excited. And he's been released. And it's just, you can't imagine. Knowing what you know about your loved ones and where they're being held, and the way that these folks have transformed, they're so different looking, right? That could be his mom, actually, but it doesn't matter. Whoever it is, loved ones are being reunited today because of President Donald Trump's deal with Hamas, which is something that is unheard of. No other president has been able to do it. No other, in fact, Bibi Netanyahu, who hosted President Donald Trump at the Knesset earlier today, said some incredible things about President Donald Trump. He said, Israel has never had a greater friend than President Donald Trump, which is true.
Donald Trump is the greatest friend that the state of Israel has ever had in the White House.
Yeah, and that's true. I mean, it's 100%. There's never been a president, not George W., not George H.W., not even Ronald Reagan, who's been as great a friend to Israel as President Donald Trump has been. Barack Obama and Joe Biden certainly were not. Barack Obama hated Israel. He sided with the Palestinians. He didn't believe that Israel should have all that territory, and he did his best to show his, let's just say, disgust with the state of Israel, and he chose Iran. He chose Iran. He chose nuclear deals with Iran. He gave Iran billions of dollars in cash on the tarmac. In every aspect of his presidency, he turned his back on Israel and offered an outstretched hand to Iran, a state sponsor of terrorism. But Donald Trump is the opposite. And in his first term, Donald Trump, he shut down the Iran nuclear agreement. He bankrupted Iran. He made sure everybody knew that Israel had a right to exist and was 100% backed by the United States of America, no matter what prior administrations had said. And as a result, this is what's really interesting, too, because Donald Trump, and I'm not going to play his whole speech from earlier today, but he pointed out Jared Kushner. And he said, Jared Kushner, he's had, because, people always say Donald Trump does things differently. And it's true. He said what Jared Kushner did was so different than anyone else. For years, presidents would come in. Bill Clinton wanted his legacy to be peace in the Middle East. He wanted his legacy to be to end this conflict. The only problem was he didn't have any skill or desire or know-how or knowledge or acumen when it comes to negotiating peace in the Middle East. All he knew how to do, was get a Hummer in the Oval Office by an intern. But that's neither here nor there. That's water under the Resolute desk. I don't know. But anyway, but he wanted to do it. He couldn't do it. He failed miserably. And Donald Trump comes along and says, look, we got Jared Kushner here. And Jared Kushner did something nobody else has done. And he said, we need to support Israel 100%. Only by strengthening Israel will we bring peace to the Middle East. Only by letting people know Israel will never be wiped off the map. Israel will always be a sovereign state, and Israel will always be fully aligned with the United States of America and her massive power. Will you ever see peace in the region? And what President Donald Trump did, he did a couple things. First of all, he immediately came in and rebuilt the military. He rebuilt the military not just militarily, not just with weapons and advanced technologies, but with an influx of troops. And when you look at the recruiting goals that have been met, I mean, the Pete Hegseth and President Donald Trump have done more for recruiting in the military than even the movie Top Gun. I think more people have been recruited in the last year because of Pete Hegseth being the Secretary of War than there were joining the Navy after Top Gun came out. Incidentally, shout out to the Navy. Happy B-Day, dog. But that's neither here nor there. That's the first thing. He built up the military and he let everybody know we're back. We're badder than ever. We are investing in our military. We got rid of all the woke crap. There's no more DEI. There's no more pregnant women in flight suits. There's no more transgender for all. There's no pronouns. None of that's all gone. We are going to have the deadliest fighting force. We are going to be focused on winning wars and lethality. That's what Sec War Hegseth has said repeatedly, and that's exactly what happened. And then they proved it by going out and bombing the snot out of Iran and destroying their entire nuclear armament. I mean, think about this. It went from, hey, let's negotiate with Iran and come up with some kind of agreement and deal where they don't fortify uranium and try to build nuclear weapons, and in return, we'll just fund all their terrorist activities. They went from that to, we're just going to bomb the snot out of you so you can never have a nuclear weapon. And then we're just going to, we're going to do what we want, which is establish peace in the region. And that's exactly what happened. So when you build up the military and you prove to everybody peace through strength works, and we will be the purveyors of that peace through strength because we're the strongest. When you do that, and then you bomb Iran and get rid of their nuclear capability, and you no longer have the cloud of nuclear war lingering over Israel, you've proven that Israel is there to stay and that they are going to be supported by the United States of America. And that was Jared Kushner's plan, and it worked. Because Hamas is like, all right, well, we should probably get the best deal we can get. And that's what President Donald Trump offered. And it's a great deal for Hamas. It's a great deal for Gaza. It's a great deal for Iran. It's a great deal for the world. And not only that, but President Donald Trump knew he would never be able to do this if he didn't have the world behind him. He would never be able to do this if he didn't have the world behind him. He needed to get he needed to get the Abraham Accords. What do you got? You got Bahrain, the UAE, Sudan. With the other one, who am I missing? Morocco. Thank you. You got Sudan, Morocco, Bahrain, UAE, and the Abraham Accords. That was the first step. And when you get the UAE on board with, opening channels with Israel, I mean, that is a huge accomplishment. And that was just one of Donald Trump's many accomplishments in the area. Then he said, look, we're going to have all these other states. Everybody else is going to be joining on. We're going to have more people sign up because A, it's the right thing to do. And B, it's going to bring peace and stabilize the region. And now look at this. Look at how many people were there. Do I have the photo? I think I downloaded the photo. I don't know if I have the photo, but look at, you heard the names. It was Italy. Giorgia Meloni was there. Canada, Mark Carney was there. Keir Starmer was there from the UK. Germany was there. Spain was there. Saudi Arabia was there. India, Pakistan, all of them. These two countries that wanted to bomb themselves to oblivion just a few months ago are now signing on to a coalition for a peace in the Middle East. I mean, it's insane. Indonesia, everybody was there. Egypt, it's Jordan, all of them. They all want, Iraq even was there. And that is again a testament to what Donald Trump has been able to create. And the last part of this puzzle is that Donald Trump, he came to this whole thing not as the president of the United States, not as the lead negotiator, not as the diplomat in chief, but as President Donald Trump, real estate developer. And because here's what happens. When you go into a negotiation, you're going to say, here's what I want you to do. And the other side's going to say, what's in it for me? That happens all the time. You say, we want this. And they go, I don't know, but we want that. And then you go, all right, well, let's figure out a way that we can get this and you can get that. And so Donald Trump comes into these negotiations and he says to the UAE and he says to, Bahrain and he says to Morocco, he says all these countries, he goes, hey, I want you guys to have peace with Israel. And they go, well, what's in it for us? And Donald Trump goes, I'll allow you to, or we'll make a deal for you to come in and industrialize Gaza. We'll you know what? We'll make it worth your while economically, and we'll give you the ability to rebuild the Middle East in a way that will bring you billions and billions of dollars. And if I'm a country in the Middle East like the UAE, which is already filthy rich, but I mean, they're filthy rich for a reason. They like money. If I'm the UAE, if I'm Bahrain, if I'm, Morocco, if I'm any of these other countries, I'm like, all right, that sounds like a good deal. All I have to do is recognize Israel and open diplomatic channels with them. And you're going to give me a piece of the pie that I can invest in and that I can build up and that I can make billions of dollars with. And Donald Trump goes, yes. Great. So now what are these other countries getting? They all saw that the Abraham Accords worked. They all saw that these countries were benefiting. They all saw that all it took was peace agreements and accords with Israel, and they were all receptive to that, especially after Iran was denuclearized, because they knew, look, when you took Iran out of the equation, you also took out Iran's allies, Russia and China. When Iran was taken out of the equation, you deleted Russia and China from the equation as well. And when Russia and China are out of the equation, the United States of America calls the shots. And that's why everybody all of a sudden showed up in Egypt, because they know that Russia and China are not involved in this whole process. They're not involved in this deal. All that real estate on the Mediterranean Sea, which, by the way, that's why Giorgia Meloni's standing in the background, doing her best not to yawn, because Italy's right across the way. All these countries are looking at this prime real estate in the desert, and it's all rubble, and it's been destroyed, and it's been inhabited by terrorists to keep their people poor and steal all of the relief efforts that they've been sending over there for decades. Now they're like, look, we could actually build a civilization here where people live and work and earn and are safe. We could actually do that, and we could all make money at the same time. Perfect. Let's do it. But wait a minute. What about Iran? What if we build up this whole thing? What if we, and I'm sure these all came out of the negotiations. I'm sure part of the Abraham Accords had people saying, look, we'll invest in Gaza. We'll invest in the area. We'll invest in the Middle East. We'll help you build the Riviera of the Middle East. But what happens if Iran gets ticked off and nukes the joint? What happens then? And Donald Trump says, don't worry about it. Leave that to me. And Donald Trump goes, we can't have Iran nuking this. We can't have that kind of threat. So he eliminates the threat. No more Iran nuking anything. And now guess what? The entire world wants to invest because they know that it's safe. Donald Trump basically built a wall around the Middle East. And now everyone's going to keep their money in there because it's safe. And only Donald Trump could do that. And Bibi Netanyahu said only Donald Trump could do that. And that's why Donald Trump is the greatest friend Israel's ever had. And that's why Bibi Netanyahu is nominating President Donald Trump for Israel's highest civilian award.
I have submitted your nomination to be the first non-Israeli recipient of the Israel Prize, Israel's highest award. As to that other prize, just a question of time, you'll get it. But I want you to get the Israel Prize, our highest award, to our greatest friend.
Yeah, that is it's Benjamin Netanyahu saying, look, forget the Nobel Schmobel. I'm giving you the Israel Award. He said I'm nominating you, but we know what that means. It's going to happen. That means it's going to happen. And then Donald Trump said, look, thank you guys. He made a comment about how long the speeches were.
Interestingly, right now, as soon as I'm finished, I'm quite late. You've kept me quite late between opposition leaders and Bibi's brilliant but very long speech. I thought I was going to run up here, make a speech, and then head to Egypt. It didn't work out, though. And you made a pretty long one, too, Sarah. But I liked what you all said. It could be worse. Supposing on top of it, I didn't like what you said.
No, I like it. You guys are giving me awards. You're calling me your greatest friend ever. So I'm okay with it. I'm okay with the speeches going long when that's the kind of speech that you have. But President Donald Trump says, look, this is exactly what we're doing. We're building a coalition. We're building all these new nations. We're doing it together. And we're doing it so that everyone benefits.
All across the Middle East, the forces of chaos, terror, and ruin that have plagued the region for decades now stand weakened, isolated, and totally defeated. A new coalition of proud and responsible nations is emerging, and because of us, the enemies of all civilization are in retreat. Thanks to the bravery and incredible skill of the Israeli Defense Forces and Operation Rising Lion, guys, central casting. Let's put him in a movie. Look at him. Great job. And my people loved working with you. Loved it. They worked so well together. But many of Iran's top terrorists, including nuclear scientists and commanders, have been extinguished from this earth.
Yeah, they're gone. And that means that there's no more threat. And if you extinguish those people from the earth, then guess what? The rest of us can all hang out and enjoy the new golden age, not just of America, but of the Middle East.
And let me also convey my tremendous appreciation for all of the nations of the Arab and Muslim world that came together to press Hamas to set the hostages free and to send them home. We had a lot of help. We had a lot of help from a lot of people that you wouldn't suspect. And I want to thank them very much for that. It's an incredible triumph for Israel and the world to have all of these nations working together as partners in peace. And it's pretty unusual for you to see that, but it happened in this case. This was a very unusual point in time, a brilliant point in time. Generations from now, this will be remembered as the moment that everything began to change, and change very much for the better. Like the USA right now, it will be the golden age of Israel and the golden age of the Middle East. It's going to work together.
Look at that. The golden age of Israel, the golden age of the Middle East, the golden age of the United States of America. It's just a new golden age everywhere. President Donald Trump showing he's not just helping the United States, but everything. And this is what we knew. This is what we knew as the beacon of freedom and liberty and economic growth and strength in the entire world, as the example of what you can do when you strive for freedom. And when you have a constitution and a peoples and a love of country and a Christian idealism, the way that you have here in the United States of America, when you have all of that, And when you bolster it, when you fight for it, and when you keep it going, and you put leaders in charge of this country who are actually, I guess you would say, respectful and as passionate about the American ideals as our founding fathers were, instead of those that are seeking to destroy them, then the entire world benefits. And what we're seeing here is the entire world benefiting. The entire world is benefiting from our leadership. The president of the United States is changing everyone's lives for the better. And 10 years from now, hopefully this peace agreement, of course, continues. It's just one phase of it. There's going to be more. There's going to be more battles. There's going to be more arguments. There's going to be more this and that and the other. But hopefully, at the end of the day, everything that Donald Trump has fought for, everything that he's put together, everything he's worked for, is going to show that the rest of the world, for eternity, will be better off than it was before he was reelected.
Can you tell us when phase 2 of the negotiations will begin?
Well, it started. It started as far as we're concerned. Phase 2 is starting. And, the phases are all a little bit mixed in with each other. They're going to start cleaning up. You look at Gaza, and it needs a lot of cleanup. That's why when I talked in my speech, I talked about the debris. I used the word debris. That's debris times 10. So, but they're going to really do a job. They have a lot of power. In another room, you have some of the wealthiest nations in the world. All leaders, the big leaders are here, the emirs and the kings and everybody, and it's a very interesting group. I guess we have like 35 countries, and that's only because they were the 35 that we invited. Everybody that we invited came. So there's a lot of respect.
What you're witnessing here, it's really interesting. And again,
can you tell us when phase 2 of the negotiations?
I go back to President Donald Trump's business sense and his business acumen, and his business experience. When Donald Trump wanted to do a project, like let's say he wanted to build a building in New York City, build a skyscraper, maybe he wanted to build a golf course out in New Jersey. I don't know. He does like basically everything. He would have to go out and find investors. And these investors would be banks. These investors might be private equity. These investors might be real estate developers. But he didn't just cut a check. He would go out and he'd find investors and he'd get them on board and he'd offer them a portion of the proceeds and, a golf membership for life or whatever it was, whatever it was that these people wanted in return. And then he would go out and he would do the thing. And what Donald Trump did was he would get all these investors in place. He would get all their money. He would go out and he would build the most amazing property, the most amazing country club, the most amazing office building, the most amazing hotel. And he would do it all quickly. He would do it before schedule and under budget, like drastically under budget. He would build these amazing things quickly and under budget. And he continues to do it. If you look at, for example, the flagpoles, Donald Trump announced he was putting flagpoles in the White House. And if everyone goes, wait, what are you doing? He goes, yeah, I'm spending money. I'm putting in 2 giant flagpoles at the White House. And you blink, and all of a sudden, one day these flagpoles are going in, you blink again, and now you're used to them. Now you see them on TV every single day. Every single day they show footage of the White House, some aerial footage or some camera off of a building, and you see these flagpoles waving in the breeze, and you're like, whoa, I remember when there was flagpoles weren't there, but Donald Trump did it quickly. And yeah, it's just a couple flagpoles, but now he's building a great ballroom. He comes in, he goes, you know what we need? We need a big ballroom. We need a 25,000 square foot ballroom off the White House because we don't have any place for events. And all of a sudden, bam, there's trucks and tractors and they're digging and they're welding and they're putting in a foundation. And before you know it, there's going to be a ballroom. He wanted to do a club in the Rose Garden with marble, tiles, so that people could go in there and the Rose Garden could actually be utilized. And bam, it's done. And now he's building an arch. Did you see this arch that Donald Trump wants to build? Donald Trump is like, you know what? We got to keep building. Because if you're not building, you're just standing still. And Donald Trump says, we got to keep building. We got to put an arch. Let me bring up these photos here. This is the arch that he's announced he's going to be putting in Washington, D.C. He's got an architect, a classical architect, to come in and design an arch. And the arch is going to be right in front of Arlington Cemetery, across the river from the Lincoln Memorial. And it's going to be right in line. The whole mall is like it's a very linear. You've got the Lincoln Memorial, the Washington Monument, you've got the Capitol building, the White House is on one side. It's all very linear. And so President Donald Trump has this arch that he wants to build. Here's the artist rendering. There it is. Harrison Designs. It's a big arch. It's right there. You can see, if you look at this rendering, you can see how it goes down toward the Lincoln Memorial and the White House and everyone else. And there's an angel, a golden angel with its wings spread wide with a scepter on the top. 2 eagles looking out either direction. There's looks like a little staircase and a green area around where people can go and they can enjoy the architecture. And there was another photo of it. I don't know. Yeah, there it is. And here's President Donald Trump in the Oval Office. He's got the little map. You know, he's got the arch there. You can see it. It looks really, I mean, it looks a lot larger than the actual Lincoln Memorial, but it's pretty tall. And it's right across the bridge. So you've got Arlington Cemetery with the big arch. It comes across the bridge to the Lincoln Memorial. And then you'll see the Lincoln Memorial. It would then continue, and you would see the reflecting pool, and then of course on to the Washington Monument, and then to the Capitol building. And it's Donald Trump's celebration of the 250th anniversary of the United States of America. That's what this arch is for. Some people are calling it Arc de Trump, which is like, and by some people I mean me. I said that. I said that the other day in my Patriot Dispatch. I go, have you heard of the Arc de Trump? And someone said, you mean the Arc de Triomphe? I go, no. The Arc de Triomphe is in Paris. The Arc de Trump is in D.C. See, that's called, it's a little bit of wordplay. It's a little rhyming too. Arc de Triomphe, Paris. Arc de Trump, D.C. And that's something he's going to get constructed very quickly, and I imagine under budget. And he's changing the landscape of the United States of America once again, but all for the good. Now, when you look at what's happening with Gaza, I mean, this place, it's a much larger undertaking. You've got an entire, small country basically, or state that has been destroyed, almost demolished. You've got to come in. You've got to have crews and workmen and tractors and boats, and people have got to haul this rubble away, and they've got to fill in the tunnels underneath, and then they've got to basically start from scratch. And we're not just talking about starting from scratch with buildings and schools and hotels and businesses and restaurants and all the other things. We're talking about an entire infrastructure. This could be one of the greatest building projects President Donald Trump has ever been part of. But rest assured, when it's done, I imagine it will be more beautiful than anyone imagined. I imagine it will be done well before schedule and under budget. I have to imagine the budget for this is pretty large, because you've got some of the wealthiest countries in the entire world who are investing in this project and who are making sure that the new Gaza, the Riviera of the Middle East, is going to be a place where everybody can live, work, thrive, and feel safe. And anybody who doubts that could just go to Washington, D.C. Because when President Donald Trump got to Washington, D.C., what did he say it was? A raging hellhole? Now it's safe. People are wandering around the streets. They have no cares in the world. And he's got construction projects all over to beautify it and to make it an even greater. I mean, I don't know if you understand this, but and it's apropos. It's right to have a memorial for the 250th anniversary celebration of the United States. But this arch, the Arch de Triomphe, will be the largest monument built in D.C. in almost 100 years. And it was the Thomas Jefferson Memorial was the last one that was installed. And that was finished in 47, I think. 47, I think. And in 1947, the Jefferson Memorial opened. And that was the last large-scale memorial. We've had the Vietnam Memorial, of course, with the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial, the Dwight D. Eisenhower Memorial, but those are smaller scale. When you're talking about something this large, it's been almost 100 years since this has happened, and now President Donald Trump is going to do it, and we're going to continue to add on to the splendor of our capital city, and I, for one, am very excited about it. But this is exactly what he's going to do in Gaza, and probably, let's be honest, other places too. I imagine that when the war in Ukraine finally ends, when Ukraine and Russia finally come to whatever agreement there is, and it's going to have to happen sooner or later. I mean, eventually peace is going to come to that region. They're both going to get sick and tired of fighting. They're both going to run out of money, or Donald Trump's finally going to figure out a way to get them to stop. But when you see the entire world, I mean, think about what Donald Trump has done here in the Middle East. If he has all of these people, 35 of the richest, most powerful countries on the globe, coming together in Egypt at a moment's notice to sign a peace agreement, a historic coalition to end the war between Hamas and Israel and rebuild Gaza. Think about that. He can probably, and if I know Donald Trump, he's probably doing it right now. He's probably at this meeting in Egypt going to be like, hey guys, thank you so much for being here. Thanks so much for your investment. Thanks so much for helping us get peace. One more thing before we leave. Next, we're all going to rally around Ukraine and Russia, and we're going to put political pressure on them to end their war. Who's with me? And they're all going to be like, what is in it for us? And Donald Trump's going to be like, well, we're going to have to rebuild Kyiv. We're going to have to rebuild, all the other war-torn parts of Ukraine. There's going to be a lot of construction in Ukraine. If anybody's interested in some more money, we can make that happen. It's it's peace through construction is really what it's. Peace through strength and peace through construction, peace through investment, peace through capitalism. And that's why capitalism works and communism doesn't. But that's a conversation for a whole other day, which luckily we have another day tomorrow because we do this every single day. Also, speaking of back, it's interesting because Donald Trump is making the world a better place and he's finding peace all over the globe. But the one place where we still have a lot of conflict unnecessarily is here in the United States of America. The shutdown continues. There's continued conflicts with ICE agents in Portland and Chicago. In Portland, I'm not going to play you the video, but Caroline Levitt posted a video of naked bicyclists who were coming to protest ICE in Portland. That's weird to me. That's weird. I mean, they're all weird people, so that's weird to me, but it's happening. And they're still attacking. It's amazing to me. They're attacking this administration left, right, and center for the dumbest things. And JD Vance stuck it to George Snuffleupagus yesterday. And George, so bad that George Snuffleupagus cut off the vice president and basically cut his feed. George Snuffleupagus has lost it. This guy is totally unhinged. Not only was he calling Donald Trump a criminal when he wasn't, not only did he have to get his network to shell out $16 million, I think that made him angrier, right? I think that what happened was George Snuffleupagus, being a career politician and a career propagandist and a career mouthpiece for the Democrat Party, having had to suffer through Bill Clinton and be he's forever attached to the Clinton era and all those scandals. With all of that going on, I think what you're starting to see now is, and now that Donald Trump keeps winning and he keeps paying out of pocket, I think what you're starting to see now is you're starting to see him just crack. And he can't take it. So with all of these things going on, with the shutdown looming, with Donald Trump vowing to pay the troops out of the War Department's budget, with Donald Trump, getting the hostages released with this coalition of nations now working toward peace forever in the Middle East. The one thing that JD Vance could not believe George Snuffleupagus was focused on was Tom Homan and this fake, phony hoax corruption scandal that the Democrats have been trying to prove now for weeks, which there's no evidence of. There's no proof of. Tom Homan's not been brought on. There's no charges brought against Tom Homan. Tom Homan's doing a bang-up job. He's one of the most effective administration officials in the Trump administration, and that's why the Democrats don't like him. He's deporting all of their voters. So they're trying to attack him, and they're trying to do whatever they can. And JD Vance brought this up to George Snuffleupagus, and he was not happy.
I don't know what tape you're referring to, George. I saw media reports that Tom Homan accepted a bribe. There's no evidence of that. And here's, George, why fewer and fewer people watch your program and why you're losing credibility. Because you're talking for now 5 minutes with the Vice President of the United States about this story regarding Tom Homan, a story that I've read about, but I don't even know the video that you're talking about. Meanwhile, low-income women can't get food because the Democrats and Chuck Schumer have shut down the government. Right now, we're trying to figure out how to pay our troops because Chuck Schumer has shut down the government. You are focused on a bogus story. You're insinuating criminal wrongdoing against a guy who has done nothing wrong instead of focusing on the fact that our country is struggling because our government's shut down. Let's talk about the real issues, George. I think the American people would benefit much more from that than from you going down some weird left-wing rabbit hole where the facts clearly show that Tom Homan didn't engage in any criminal wrongdoing.
It's not a weird left-wing rabbit hole. I didn't insinuate anything. I asked you whether Tom Homan accepted $50,000, as was heard on an audio tape recorded by the FBI in September 2024, and you did not answer the question. Thank you for your time this morning.
No, George, I said that I don't.
Up next, we'll be right back.
Weird left-wing rabbit hole. Man, George Snuffleupagus sure is a bitter old woman, isn't he? That dude is a bitter old lady, and he is not at all happy that the Vice President of the United States of America made valid points on his program and pinpointed once again that his viewership is declining, that his credibility has been ruined, and that he continues to do it for himself by chasing these by going down these weird left-wing rabbit holes instead of focusing on the real issues that face America, like the government shutdown, like peace in the Middle East, like getting WIC back up and running, like paying our troops, like all these other things that the Schumer shutdown has kept from happening. Listen, we're going to have a little bit more fun. We're going to do another 30 or 40 minutes in our Catriot Club. If you're not a Catriot Club member, today's a great time to join the Catriot Club. It's only $10 a month. You get extra bonus Mark K Saves the Republic time. Every couple days we do a bonus program. Today we're going to go in and we're going to hang out in the Catriot Club. You're going to get another extended version of this show. Plus there's specials, there's stickers, there's all kinds of great stuff. And like I said, it's only $10 a month. Also, if you subscribe for an entire year, boom, you get 2 months for free. How exciting is that? Just go to Catriots.com. We're going to do that here in just a minute. Catriots.com. That thing kicks off in about 5 minutes. Otherwise, thank you so much for subscribing. Thanks so much for being part of the program today. Don't forget, if you're not a subscriber, to subscribe, set the notifications, let everybody know wherever you're listening, if it's on Spotify or iTunes or YouTube or Rumble, that you want this show every single day, because every single day there's more news, there's more information, there's more attacks, there's more stuff that you and I and all the other Catriots all over the globe need to do, need to know, need to understand, and need to develop so that we can always be prepared for the battles that are going to ensue, because the battles will ensue. They will continue, and we will continue to fight so we can save the Republic. We will see you in the cage.